Hey everyone. All right. So I had the chance to play a little bit around Manifest v3 on Canary, on Google Canary, and I wanted to talk about some issues and my thoughts about this. My first impressions, this is using Canary version 80 and 81. It's been there for the past 6 weeks. So devs can start playing around v3. In my opinion, what Google provided so far, it's quite preliminary. There's not much, and there's a lot of bugs too. So let's start. First bug that I found is where to save your service worker file. If you create your service worker file in a subfolder, let's say in GS and then the name of your service worker, it will not work. You really need to have your service worker at the root of your manifest, where your manifest.json is. That's an issue that they know, and they're working on fixing it.
Would you mind there is a bug about this one?
Sorry, what?
There is a bug filed on Chromium for this one?
Yeah, there's on forums, people are talking about it, and I think, yes, there's an open bug for this.
If you have a link to it and you want to put it into the document, it would be great.
Sure, I'll do this.
Not now.
Yeah. I'll do this after. All right. Now, let me share my screen. Screen 2. All right. Do you see this? Chrome service workers? Okay. How to inspect, debug your service worker. Now, for people that are developing extensions, they were used to inspect your background pages using Chrome extensions page. Now, for service workers, you see that for these extensions, there's nothing there. You really need to go to Chrome Inspect Service Worker to see it there. Now, as you know, service workers can stop working. The Chrome, the browser can terminate your extension from time to time, your service worker. So you need to start it to make sure that to be able to inspect it. So if you create any event that give the possibility to your service worker to start back again, for example, clicking on your browser action pop-up button, if you go back to inspect, you will be able to see that your worker is currently running, and you can inspect it. And you can see your code, your source code there. Let me close this back again. And one neat thing about this is that you can also terminate it manually as well. So you can test your code to make sure that if Google Chrome terminates your service worker, then you can manually test it yourself and make sure that your code's still working fine. That's one cool feature. Next. ES6 import statements. It doesn't work, or doesn't seem to work right now inside extension service worker. There's some open bugs related to this. I'll try to find it back and put it in the document. To get around this right now, I'm using import scripts function, which it's not the best, but it's enough for my current tests. Next, Mozilla Browser Polyfill library. Seems to work fine inside service workers. For example, the keyword browser instead of Chrome doesn't create any issues. Using promises for the APIs right now under Chrome works great, even if it's quite handy, even if Google Chrome is not still ready for promises on v3. So that's quite nice. Permission.request API. I wasn't able to get the pop-up for optional permissions that users can see from time to time when the extension needs to ask for permissions. This API, you need to call it from a service worker and doesn't create any pop-up. The only, from time to time, I could see that it was returning me this function must be called from a user gesture. It's probably an issue right now inside V3 because the same code on V2 works pretty well. Next.
With the service worker? Sorry, I want
Sorry,
to,
what?
So it works on V2 by using the service worker?
No, sorry, using background scripts, normal background scripts.
I noticed that in the code, in the Chromium code, they are propagating the user gesture flag. So it seems that it should work based on the code. So I was surprised when you mentioned it to me. I was wondering if you wait, like there is the events dot wait until. I'm wondering if waiting, making the listener to wait would make the flag to work, actually.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
If you can give it a try, I would love to know if that was the case.
I'll try to wait. It's probably the issue is on my end because I didn't find anything related to this.
From where you were calling the method?
That's a good question. I'm calling it from a web page. So it's a web page, an online web page that calls via messaging to the service worker inside the extension.
Okay.
So it could be this use case as well that isn't problem. I'll dig further on. We'll see. All right. Next, CORS issues with service workers. Service workers seems to have CORS issue right now when you call external APIs using fetch, for example. This is true even if you specify in your manifest the host permissions key property to allow calls for specific domains, or simply using all URLs, it doesn't seem to work. There's people talking about this on the web as well, on the forums. So I'm not the only one having this problem right now. I didn't play around web requests and declarative net requests APIs yet, so I cannot say much regarding this. This talk is mostly because for service workers. Other small issues, Canary is whining about that Manifest v3 is currently not supported, and the version in Manifest must be at 2, but that's something that you can just ignore for the moment. And finally, there's an interesting project on GitHub called Learning Manifest v3, which can help developers understanding the changes for the current issues on v3 on Canary. And the developer or the person who's working on this seems to be quite active to put new stuff when is finding bugs or issues regarding this. And that's it. Any question?
I did a bunch already. The CORS issue seems interesting too.
I'm able to fetch. I see in my logs that the fetch works properly the very first time that Canary opens. So the very first time that the service worker gets running, it works. Then if I manually terminate the service worker and force it to restart, then the core issues appears.
I see. It could be that they are sending the host permission the first time. Maybe they are missing to send it again if it started from another reason. Like if you send a message, there is another path that starts the service worker. So probably they miss some of the path. Interesting.
Yep. Sounds like maybe that's the problem here.
The project that you mentioned is the one from Kent Brew, I guess. Let me know if it's this one. I'm just putting this that I found right now.
Let's see. Yeah, Ken Brew.
Man, I don't know how to thank you for this work,
No
especially
problem.
for testing the polyfill. It was in my list, as I told you, but you reached it first.
Yeah, no problem. So far, so good. It works great for the polyfill, and I'll continue to work on this for the next couple of weeks, and we can talk again during the next all-in.
Yeah, absolutely. We should sit and discuss this a bit, because I may be ready with part of it at least.
All right.
Awesome. Yay. Thank you so much, Sylvain.
No problem.
Have you had a chance to test the new CSP for content scripts in Firefox? Is that on the list? Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect us for the kind of extensions that we're doing. So I've put it on the side for now.
Okay.
I have another question, actually.
Yes.
Any of your extension has something that is persisted across restarts, like context menus?
Yeah. I'm basically rebuilding all our extensions from scratch using for V3.
Did you had any issues around that? I was testing it a bit to know, to see if you had to register the menus from the install event of the service worker or from the install event of the API on install one.
No, it seems that they're doing this all behind inside the Chrome browser. I didn't need it to call for specific uninstall or unrestart events. Basically, Chrome just rerun the entire service worker. And
no, that is right. But
okay.
I noticed that if you put the context menu create inside the worker, not inside one of the events, that works. And that every time the worker is started, the menu is created.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember that if you disable the extension and re-enable it again, if it doesn't start, I can't remember if it was on a full restart or just by disabling and re-enabling. But if the worker wasn't started, the menu wasn't there. If you put the menus create inside the uninstalled API event, that was called the first time, but it wasn't persisted. So at the next restart of the browser, it wasn't there. If I call menus create from the uninstall event of the worker, in that case was persisted. So it was confusing to me where the context menu should be created.
Okay, yeah, I got you. I didn't play around this. I'm not surprised that there's issues pretty much everywhere right now.
Let me know if you met this issue and you know
sure.
if anybody else is meeting this.
I'll do.
Sorry, monopolized the discussion.
No, it's all good. Thanks. Any other questions or comments? Okay, cool. I'm just gonna drop an image in. So we have for another run of them next year. So I'm gonna be a little stingy giving these away to staff, particularly from sizes extra small to large, just because those are our most in-demand sizes. But check back in with me at the end of next year, and if I've got some stock, I can send it along to you. So that's just a preliminary look of what that's going to be. So excited to share.
quite cute, actually. I love the squid.
It's really cute.
Or the octopus or whatever. Yeah.
We're just going to make everything cute.
It's a sextopus.
It's yeah. Yeah, and I want to thank Aaron on the UX team. Aaron's been working on UX for AMO part-time for a while. I roped him into this and made him revisit some skills that he hadn't used in a while. So I just want to say that I'm very grateful for him for spending the time to help us get some t-shirts made. Okay, does anyone else have anything that they would like to share at today's show and tell?
I may have a tell. By the end of the year, we should be releasing a new version of WebEx because there was an issue that some user is running into with WebEx sign that seems to be fixed in the updated version in the master branch. So we are going to release a new version by the end of the year.
Yay. Was that the one guy who was experiencing those weird timeout errors?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome.
Reported on WebEx, so there's been some discussion there, and I asked them to try again on the master branch, and it's working there. Many thanks to William, actually, that is working on the sign out on dependency, because everything is happening actually in there.
Yay, thank you. All right, anything else? All right, well then I will let you all go. Have a great rest of your 2019. Our next show and tell will be January 16th, 2020. So that'll be right before a bunch of us are out of town for the all hands. Have a very restful holiday season. Stay safe, and we'll see you all later. Thanks for rocking 2019, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.